Aloha and welcome to this module on user interface design. This is the frameworks edition of user interface design. Last week we did real, primitive user interface design stuff using HTML and CSS. This week we're gonna, add the warp engines onto our user interface design capabilities because we're going to be adding Twitter Bootstrap. And you're going to see at the end of this week that your skills in user interface design are going to be qualitatively different and better than they were just last week. It's really amazing how much you can learn in a week if you put your mind to it. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So the learning outcomes for this week, we're going to continue to work on using IntelliJ IDEA effectively. I think you'll see in the practice WODs that I am using keystrokes like you would not believe. I am typing so much less than someone that has to really, deal with every single keystroke. And that's because of the beauty of IntelliJ IDEA. It does some completion that's just really rocking. So look for those completions when you're looking at the practice WODs. I think you're going to really like this editor. Secondly, you can't use Twitter Bootstrap without understanding about CSS and HTML, and in this particular module, as we get into the practice WODs, you'll be seeing that we start with Twitter Bootstrap, but we are going to be overriding or adding properties to the Twitter Bootstrap classes. We're going to be creating new divs. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff on top of the framework in order to create sites with the desired look and feel. So you're gonna be continuing to get better at understanding basic kinds of CSS properties, but no artistry required. Okay, that's one of the great things about this. I'm not asking you for any kind of aesthetic capability. We're gonna just allow Twitter Bootstrap to take care of the aesthetics, and you're just gonna be looking at making things kind of obey, real basic kinds of sensibilities about columns and so forth. So there's a lot of readings here. An overview of user interface frameworks, Bootstrap grids for beginners. I like this tutorial a lot. Well, I made it, but I think it's a pretty good way of getting started thinking about the grids. And then I take you through this repo called Bootstrap Example, where I show you a bunch of different simple sites based upon Bootstrap that kind of give you the flavor for what the basic layout of the index.html and the style.css file should be. I'll talk a little bit about color pickers in case you want to be able to grab colors from sites on the web. It's nice to know this. And then there's these two readings that are at a much higher level about user interfaces that I really want you to read and think about, because what you'll find is in most cases Twitter Bootstrap is going to obey these rules. In some cases it won't, and so it's going to be kind of up to you. I guess this is a place where a little bit of your own aesthetic is going to come into play. But again, I like his attitude. The guy's a nerd. He's not an artist. He's just using experience to generate these rules. So it's the kind of approach to it that appeals to me as a non-artist. And here's an optional reading about why the Bootstrap 3 grid works. And, if you don't want to, you can take a look at it, obviously. But, if you get lost, as I did, because I don't understand the CSS stuff in real, huge detail, then, don't worry about it. I included that for those of you who are CSS ninjas and want to go a little deeper. Then we get to the experiential learning. Things are going to get crazy here. This first one's easy. You're just going to build some bookmarks. You can see them here. The Bootstrap browser history, just taking your browser history WOD from last week and using Bootstrap. That's pretty simple. But then we hit, something pretty crazy. You're going to be taking a professional site, Command Composite site, and you're going to be implementing, kind of replicating that using Twitter Bootstrap. That's going to be a whole new level of kind of thinking about how to put together Twitter Bootstrap HTML and CSS. Got another one, Responsive Castle High School, where you'll take the Castle High School site and you'll re-implement it using Twitter Bootstrap to make it look really nice. It's also a real fun one. And then you'll have the reflection on the user interface frameworks. We'll have an in-class WOD where you'll be kind of doing similar kinds of things, so be sure to practice these. I'll give you a heads up. Get started on this early because each of these WODs take about 30 minutes, and you're going to almost for sure want to do them more than once. Okay? I think I put a DNF of like 50 minutes on this. So you might work almost an hour the first time, then watch me, that's a half hour, then do it again yourself, that's a half hour. So you're talking 2 hours per practice WOD. So give yourself some time this week to work on this, because there's just a lot of material that you have to assimilate. But it's going to be so worth it, because when you get out of this, you're going to be able to build web-based user interfaces quickly that look nice, have some modern capabilities, and it's not going to be stressful at all. Okay, so have fun with this. The best thing I can say is don't wait till the last minute, because it will be stressful if you do that. If you don't wait till the last minute, I think you'll have a lot of fun.